Becoming a billionaire these days may get you featured in Forbes magazine. However, some people in history were able to accumulate an insane amount of money to the point that a few $1 billion suddenly becomes unimpressive. In this video, we'll feature the richest people ever recorded in history. We're talking about hundreds of billions worth of dollars as their net worth, while some reaching trillions of dollars. Making this list was a bit tricky, since we feature people who lived in different eras. And because of that, we needed to consider factors such as inflation to accurately estimate a person's net worth in today's money. So let's proceed with our list. Number 10. Muammar Gaddafi, $200 billion. In number 10, we have the former Libyan president Muammar Gaddafi. Depending on who you ask, some considered him a great leader while others considered him a dictator with a lavish lifestyle. During his time as Libya's head of state, Libya was the richest North African country. Libyans enjoyed free education and healthcare, while he also pushed for a safe working environment for their women. However, it also had its drawbacks. He served his country from 1969 to 2011, making him the longest-serving ruler of his country since the Ottoman Empire. His regime was also known for political unrest that eventually led to a violent uprising. Then the Arab Spring started in early 2010s. Rebel forces eventually overthrew Gaddafi's government in 2011. To end political hostilities, NATO, along with the United States, encouraged Gaddafi to surrender. After spending months hiding, he was captured and then executed by rebel forces. During his reign, Gaddafi was known for his hidden assets. One of the main contributors to his net worth was Libya's oil resources. Gaddafi prefers to live a lavish lifestyle, buying expensive cars such as Fiat 500, Mercedes S-Class, and also an armored BMW 7 Series. On top of all this, he also has a private jet. It was estimated that Gaddafi's net worth reached $200 billion. Number 9. Elon Musk, $230.8 billion. Next on our list is Elon Musk. Known both as a serial entrepreneur and a genius who wants to get humanity to Mars, he overtook Bezos as the world's wealthiest man to date. Some of his ventures include SpaceX and The Boring Company. He was also one of the founders of PayPal. Oh, and let's not forget, Tesla and Neuralink. Currently, Musk is looking to buy Twitter. In 2022, Musk's total net worth reached $230.8 billion. So how did he accumulate his wealth? Elon Musk's father is a part owner of an emerald mine. However, even if he has a rich father, his father only loaned him and his brother $28,000 for their first internet business. At age 27, Elon founded PayPal. Elon then had a huge payday when PayPal was sold to eBay for $1.4 billion. Elon received $100 million from this sale. He then decided to start SpaceX using most of the money that he earned. By 2004, Musk, together with Martin Everhart and Mark Tarpenning, became the first investors of Tesla. In 2010, Tesla went public and reached more than a $1 trillion valuation in 2021. Number 8. Nicholas Romanov, $300 billion. In number 8, we have Nicholas II. Nicholas Romanov, or Nicholas II, was the last Tsar of Russia. He has been canonized by the Russian Orthodox Church and was also named the richest saint in history. He had a net worth that was roughly around $300 billion on 2010's exchange rate. One of the things that made Nicholas the second part of our list is the value of land that's under the Ministry of Imperial Court. For instance, Altai and Transbaikal alone translate to approximately 6 to 5 million hectares. And even if these assets can't be sold, Altai and Transbaikal are known for their gold, silver, coal, and even copper. On top of this, the imperial family also owns the Royal Hermitage Museum along with the imperial theaters in Moscow and St. Petersburg. These properties generate income for them. Nicholas II's reign ended tragically in 1917 when him along with his family were assassinated by the Bolsheviks. Number 7. John D. Rockefeller, $341 billion. Number 7 in our list is John D. Rockefeller. John was a magnate that amassed a total wealth of more than $340 billion if converted to today's money. Many referred to him as the first American billionaire. An accounting clerk by trade, Rockefeller's $4,000 investment in an oil refinery allowed him to become one of the wealthiest individuals not only in U.S. history, but in the world. He made his money by investing in Standard Oil, which eventually became an illegal monopoly in 1911. Standard Oil was then broken into different companies such as Sovio, Esso, and SoCal. These companies will later become Exxon and Chevron. Aside from being a well-known magnate, Rockefeller was also a philanthropist. He gave half of his assets to charity through his foundation, while the other half went to his family members. By the time he died, he had a net worth of $1.4 billion. Today, the Rockefeller family has an estimated $20 billion in wealth belonging to around 250 heirs. John D. Rockefeller successfully passed his riches to the next generation of Rockefellers. His great-grandson Jay Rockefeller even became a senator for West Virginia from 1985 to 2015. Jay was worth $160 million in 2013. David Rockefeller, on the other hand, who is one of John Jr.'s children, has a total net worth of $3.3 billion when he passed away in 2017. Number 6. Andrew Carnegie, $372 billion. Number 6 in our list is Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie is an industrialist who helped the American steel industry during the 19th century. He was known for mass-producing steel using the Bessemer process and had extensive steel operations in the United States. By 1909, he sold his company to J.P. Morgan for $303 million. He received $225 million as his share of the sale, which is roughly around $7 billion today. But since J.P. Morgan paid Carnegie in bonds, the final amount reached $480 million because of the interest. The U.S. Steel Corporation became the first company in the United States to reach a market capitalization of more than $1 billion. His total net worth, if converted to today's money, is at $372 billion. Number 5. Mansa Musa, $400 billion. At number 5, we have Mansa Musa. Mansa ruled as the king of Timbuktu from 1280 to 1337. On different websites, many consider him to be the wealthiest person in history since his entire wealth was hard to determine. Musa's kingdom was known for being the world's largest producer of gold during a time when gold was a highly sought-after asset. There were stories of Musa's lavish lifestyle when he was alive. During his pilgrimage to Mecca, he brought dozens of camels to carry gold. He also spent so much money in Egypt during a stopover to the point that it caused a currency crisis in the country. His army consisted of 200,000 soldiers, something that even superheroes will have a hard time assembling. In 2012, a U.S. website claims that his wealth is somewhere around $400 billion. Number 4. Augustus Caesar, $4.6 trillion. Next on our list is Augustus Caesar or Octavian. He lived from September 23, 63 BC to August 19, AD 14. He was the first Roman emperor of the Roman Empire and reigned from 27 BC to AD 14. Octavian was responsible for turning Rome from a republic to becoming an empire. There was also a time when he owned the entire Egypt. During his time, he had control of 25% to 30% of the entire world's economy. And at one point, he controlled around 20% of the entire wealth of the Roman Empire. According to experts, his net worth is equivalent to $4.6 trillion in today's money. Number 3. Accra I, $21 trillion. Now let's go to our top 3 richest people in history. At number 3, we have Accra I. Akbar, or Accra the Great, ruled as India's third Mughal emperor from the mid-1500s to the early 1600s. He succeeded his father Humayun thanks to the guidance of Bahram Khan, a military commander of the Mughal army that helped shape Akbar as a leader. When he was the emperor, he was able to expand the Mughal Empire to include the majority of the Indian subcontinent. But with a powerful army by his side, his influence went beyond his territory. Aside from his military power, he is also known for creating a library of thousands of literature written in Sanskrit, Urdu, Persian, Kashmiri, Latin, Greek, and Arabic. The Mughals made use of what is called the Mansadbar system. The Mansadbar system appoints an officer to generate income from a territory. And with Akbar's control of more than 15 provinces, he was able to collect taxes that allowed him to amass a total wealth of $21 trillion in today's money. During the peak of his rule, he was in control of 25% of the world's GDP. Number 2. Emperor Shenzong, $30 trillion. In number 2, we have Emperor Shenzong. He lived from 1048 to 1085 and was the 7th emperor of the Song dynasty of China. He then ruled from 1067 to 1085. His rule was known for being highly centralized, wherein Shenzong had great control of the country's economy. At the height of Shenzong's rule, China was in control of around 30% of the world's entire GDP. His rule was dubbed the Peaceful Prosperity Era. During its time, China's technological innovations were superior even when compared to its counterparts in Europe. Also, his reign was efficient when it comes to collecting taxes. However, what made his reign special was his new policies that helped alleviate the lives of his constituents. He is known as a pioneer of today's welfare system. With an efficient tax collection system, his net worth is equivalent to $30 trillion if converted in today's money. Okay. Before we reveal the number 1 on our list, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get updates on our newest videos. Also, don't forget to leave a comment if there is anything that you want us to feature in our future videos. Now, let's go back and reveal the world's richest person in history. Number 1. Genghis Khan, estimated $120 trillion. Number 1 on our list is Genghis Khan. What made him the richest person in history was the vast territory that he controlled during the height of his power. At one point, the conqueror and leader of the Mongol Empire had control of territories from Asia to Europe. He owned more than 15 million square miles of territory spread across different continents. This includes China, Syria, Korea, Russia, and the Middle East. Unlike other armies, Mongol soldiers don't keep the items that they've looted. Instead, every item that was collected was centralized and was then distributed among their ranks. Even with his wealth, one of the things that maintained Genghis Khan's influence is his generosity among his soldiers. The value of the land Genghis Khan controlled alone is already at $90 trillion if you'll consider inflation and today's GDP. He also owned more than 200,000 tons of gold, which is valued at more than $10 trillion today. If we adjust all the wealth he amassed to today's standard, it is equivalent to 120 trillion US dollars. So that's it for our list today. Did you like our video? Do you agree with our list? If you would like to see more luxurious content, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you haven't liked and commented yet, please do so. See you next time.